We're so excited to have Bevy Smith as our guest today. Hi, Bevy.
Hi,
Welcome.
Mike. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Really nice to have you. So, Bevy is a television personality and a businesswoman, best known for her work perhaps as co host on Bravo's fashion themed talk show, Fashion Queens. And this month, she published her book, Bevelations Lessons from a Mother, Auntie, Bestie. And copies of the book are behind her. I'm sorry, usually, there we go. It's a fabulous cover. You look super glamorous. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about your life, your career, your book, which I read and loved and found very inspirational and accessible and really a lot of fun. So congratulations to you. The voice is great in the book.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nina. You know, for me, I wanted to write this book because so many people kept asking me questions about how I changed my life because you read the book. I had a very successful career as a fashion advertising executive. And then at 38, I decided I wanted to do a more creative and a more freedom kind of filled life. So I was like, I want to do TV and I want to write and I want to sing and I want to be a fire eater and I want to juggle and I want to, walk across the Sahara Desert if I like. I just wanted freedom. I just
wanted more freedom.
Yeah, I just wanted to be able to choose what it is that I was going to do with my life every single day. And I wanted to explore all the things I had always been interested in. And that was really just like a pivotal moment in my life when I decided to change. And so people were like inspired by that. And I was like, well, okay, they want me to write a book, I guess. So I wrote a book.
It is a really inspirational story. I think something that everyone can relate to. You had a real, well, not everyone can relate to it. You had a real epiphany moment where you wanted your life to change, which lots of people feel, but not a lot of people can make it happen. So it's pretty amazing that you really had the courage to say, like, you're already living a kind of fabulous life, right? It's kind of a high life. You had a really big, powerful job. You were traveling a lot. You were earning a lot of money. It was a very kind of glamorous and luxurious job, right? You were at Rolling Stone, I think, and Vibe later.
I was at Vibe first and then at Rolling Stone.
Vibe and then Rolling Stone. And so then you had this moment, this kind of crash moment of like, I need to do something different. Was it super scary? And how did you do it? How did you change your life?
It was not scary when I decided to quit my job. By the time I decided, so you mentioned a little meltdown. I had a meltdown in Milan at the age of 33.
Okay.
And that's when I knew that I was really unhappy in my life. Didn't know how to place it. But here's the interesting thing, Nina. I had been restless since my late 20s. Restless in my spirit. Didn't know how or what I wanted to do. I had a boyfriend at the time who worked in the music industry. And I was like, well, maybe you can connect me with some people over at the source. Maybe I want to write. I didn't know. And then I was like, maybe I want to do PR. Because at that time I was at an advertising agency as a media director. So I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just restless.
You wanted more.
I wanted more. So I wound up quitting that media director job and just kind of milling about for, maybe a few months, like maybe up to 9 months, milling about. And then I got a call from Vibe magazine. And there I went and I had a great time. But I want to get back to what you were asking me about, like how was it scary? By the time I got to that point at Rolling Stone magazine, where I was 38 years old, I had already been through the mill, right? I had already, kind of done the introspective work and really analyzed what it was that was making me unhappy, one, and then tried to figure out what would get me to happy.
Yeah.
And so that took 5 years. So I always caution people, in the book I say, I would love to tell you that I was 33 years old. I had this meltdown in Milan, and then I called up my boss and said, I'm quitting.
Right.
And
I figured it all out.
You know what I mean? Like I had a TV show in the next, week when I got back to America. But that's not the way it worked. I said I was unhappy at 33, and then I didn't move. And I moved throughout. But I didn't make that big move until I was 38. So it took 5 years. So I like to stress that part of it because I don't ever want someone to think that I was just like this person. I don't want people to feel bad about them having these feelings and not moving instantly.
Of course. Well, you don't want, the reality is it's a journey, right? Nothing is instant, right? It's a journey. It's a process.
But when you hear these stories and you read these books, people do make them seem like I had an epiphany and so I went.
Yeah.
And so I just decided to do it.
Right.
That will happen, but for very few people. Usually those are white privileged folks that can decide that they don't like something and they can just jump up out the window and just go and do it.
Yep.
You
No,
know,
good for you for really showing the truth and the fact that it took you a long time. And I really relate to it. My 30s was also a real time of kind of struggle and change. I had a big divorce in my 30s and went through a lot of depression. And it took me about 5 years to kind of come through it into a different phase of my life. So I really do relate to that. Um, your motto is "It gets greater later," which I absolutely adore and feel like I wish that was my. I wish I had come up with that. That is so good. And how old are you now, Bevy? Do you say your age?
yeah, of course.
54. Awesome. You look fabulous. I'm 51. It really does get greater later, right? I'm 51.
See, the good black don't crack, bro.
I know. I know. Thank God. Um, and so how did you come up with that? It gets greater later. Was that during this period in your 30s, or was it later when you were kind of referencing menopause and thinking about that change?
I actually never really think about menopause, but
Oh, wait, we have to talk about that, but go on. When did you come up with this motto?
well, I actually didn't come up with this motto. It is from an HBO series that used to be called Hookers on Hunts Point.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember the creepy guy that used to narrate it and everything?
Yep.
Yeah, so one time they did another show called Hookers on Hunts Point, but the Atlantic City edition. And there were two sex workers named Tia and Sunshine. And I can't remember which said to the other, but one of them said, I only come out at night to turn tricks because it gets greater later. It's like, she's so right. It gets greater later.
That's really great. Okay, so she's referring to later at night when all the good things happen, but you took it on to mean later in life when all the good things
Yes,
happen.
yes,
I
yes.
really think it's really perfect. So wait, tell me why you don't ever think about menopause or talk about menopause.
Oh, no,
Tell
no,
us.
I have to talk about menopause. I just don't think, I don't give a lot of thought to it. Okay, so my mom was 38 when I was born. I was born in 66, which means that was very ancient back then. Now that's a normal age to have kids, but
Yeah,
back then,
but that was old then.
ancient.
Yeah.
They still call it a geriatric pregnancy, but back then it really was a geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah, for sure.
My mom was 50 years old when I was 12. And when I tell you she was one of the baddest chicks in the game, my mother was beautiful at 50.
Oh,
My mother
wow.
was beautiful at 70. My mother is a fox at 93. When you get a chance, you have to go and look at my Instagram and see my mother at 93 years old.
Oh, I totally will. Okay, cool. Lucky you.
She is beautiful. And so I don't have a hang up about age.
Yeah. Because you
And
have that model. Yeah.
And so, because my mother has always been very proud of her age and talked very openly about it, but also been very beautiful and glamorous and fabulous about at whatever age she was, these are not things that plague me. She also, I guess, must have had an easy time at menopause because, and we've asked her about it, my sister and I have asked her about it, and my mom is like, yeah, I mean, I just stopped having my period. And then she makes it seem like it's very like,
So no big deal.
no big deal. No big
Well,
deal.
it's funny. I was having a conversation with a girlfriend this morning about how much we get from our parents, how much we behave like our parents ultimately, right? No matter how hard we may try not to, and having those kind of models is for health and for aging is really a gift. I mean, I often tell people I started the Woolfer community when I was 46, and my mom died when she was 46 of breast cancer. And I was only young, I was 19, but all as I was becoming a woman, I always had this idea of my mother ahead of me, when she was in her 30s and in her 40s. And then suddenly I didn't know after 46 what being a woman looked like because I didn't have my mom. And I think I created the community in a lot of ways to have mothers and sisters and aunties, just like you talk about in your book, to have other women who could kind of show me the way.
Yeah, I
So,
love that. I love that. And yeah, I think that that is something that we see a very common experience with women who have lost their mothers at a young age. You really do have that deficit, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because,
A a
this,
friend used to describe it to me as I'm always going to have a hole in my bucket. It's a little harsh, but
yeah,
there's some truth to that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how nice to have a 93-year-old vivid, vivacious mom. That's so great. And so for you, health wise, has this period of life been pretty easy like it was for her?
Yeah, I mean,
No
I'm,
hot flashes, no depression?
I mean, I guess I would say low grade depression. I mean, I take care of myself in the form of if I don't feel well, if I don't feel perky or up to things, I rest. I,
Me too.
I do take care of myself in that way.
Good.
I don't try to put on a happy face if I'm not feeling happy. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a big part of what I talk about in the book. You know, not hiding behind these facades. So I'm Bevy Smith. But if I'm Bevy Smith can't show up, honey, then you might get I'm Bevy Smith.
Right. About being real.
And that's one of the best parts about having these kind of shows. My radio show, I get to be very honest on my radio show when I'm not feeling well, when I'm feeling depressed. I talk about going to therapy, all these different things. And so it's really very cathartic to have a community that you can talk to. And so I get why you have this wonderful, wonderful show, because it really is a community and you guys are feeding each other.
Yeah, it really is a gift. I think both things that you talk about, to be able to be really honest about what you're going through in life, because it gives other people permission to be honest also, and to not feel like they have to pretend, you know, which we've hit on a couple times in this conversation. I mean, the reality is nothing is easy for anyone all the time,
Oh,
and life is an ongoing struggle and challenge, and there are a lot of beautiful things about that, a lot of ways we succeed in beautiful ways, but it's not always easy by a long shot. So
no, it's not. No, it's not. But I do believe it is a mindset. I do believe it is a mindset. But if you're not able to tap into that mindset because there are other things going on, you know, that's why I'm in one way I love a good self help book, and in another way I'm like, the way they go about it sometimes is a little, because they make
yeah.
it like, you know what, you can do it. Just change your mindset. Well, baby, if I'm like depressed, like I just can't change my mindset.
Right.
I'm
Now, I'm a fan of exactly what you talk about. People often ask me, what do I do for self-care? And if I'm feeling really crappy, it's to me, one of the best things about getting older is I've gotten much more aware of like, this will pass and I'm going to take care of myself right now. And I will just go to bed and I will spend a couple days nursing whatever it is that's hard for me in the moment. And I know now, like when I was younger, I would get more overwhelmed by those feelings and more scared that they weren't going to go away or there was something wrong with me. And now I kind of know I'm feeling lousy right now and this will pass. And my perspective will change. You know, I'll get to the other side of this. And so that's such a gift of getting older. Oh my God.
But also a lot of times we need help to get to that other side. And so like for me, when the pandemic hit, I knew I needed therapy. So I immediately, it's so weird because my dad was in a rehab facility, and I would go and read to him every day. And we were tracking the coronavirus from the time it was in China, and then when we got to Italy, remember Italy was a
Yeah, and
disaster.
it was so scary. Yeah.
First, like, you know, kind of hint that this could really not just be something that happens in Asia. Now it's
Yeah.
in Italy, and it's decimating the country. So I was tracking it with my daddy, and I remember reading to him and saying, you know, oh, Dad, it's starting to come to the U.S. I think this could be really bad. And when it finally got to us, and when we started closing down the city, which was on March 13th, Friday the 13th, all things, I knew, I said, I better go get me, I got to go back into therapy.
Good
And so
for
I
you.
instantly started, you know, trying to find a therapist online. I also, at that time, realized that I probably had coronavirus. So that was a fun day.
Oh, wow. Did you have it?
Oh, yeah, I had it.
Wow. And are your parents both okay?
No, my daddy died from complications of COVID.
Oh, Bevy, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that. I'm really sorry. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. And what a good model you are for saying, like, I need therapy and I'm going to go get it. I mean, these are the things people need to hear, which I really love. So let's talk about fashion for a sec. You have this show that's all about fashion. I have a bunch of questions. I mean, one, what do you think of Kamala's Converse sneakers? What do you think of sneakers in general?
Well, because of the coronavirus, I bought 6 pairs of sneakers because during the summer we were out and about. And I don't know about you, but I live in a community. I live in Harlem. And you live in Brooklyn, so you live in the community. So
Yeah.
we were doing walkabouts every single day. We
I,
were,
I wear sneakers all the time. In fact, I don't think I'm ever going to wear high heels again, ever. I know you will because you're super glamorous, but I think I'm done.
I bought 3 pairs of high heels last week. They're gorgeous. I can't even deal. I can't deal. I'm pissed that I can't put them on for this interview.
I
Uh,
mean, can you wear them comfortably? I really can't. You know, as you get older, this is a menopause fact. As you get older and your estrogen declines, you lose the padding in your feet. So your feet actually get less able to wear, like it's a real reason it's harder for us to wear
You get
heels.
collagen pumped into the feet, you know.
Yeah, but I don't do that. Do you get collagen pumped into your feet?
No, I don't. I don't.
Do
But
people do that? Is that a Hollywood thing?
that's a real thing.
Oh my God, where have I been? I had no idea.
Real thing. But I also, Nina, don't walk around in my high heels. So if I'm wearing high heels, I'm going somewhere. I'm going, I go to work. So I get in the car and I go to work. And then
Oh,
I'm going to dinner. I get in the car, I go to dinner. I do dance in heels though. And there's nothing better than dancing in the heel. Right now I have a wrap dress. If I have on this wrap dress and a pair of very sky high heels, baby, I'm going to burn that dance floor down.
I'm sure you look unbelievable. I mean, there's no doubt heels are sexy. They just are. But I don't know. I mean, I used to wear these big wedges. I'm afraid I'm going to break an ankle now.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I may have had one or two mishaps with an ankle and heels. I may have in the last year. Maybe that happened to me. But I go get an ace bandage. And
all right. So do you like Kamala's Converse sneakers? I love them. I love them.
I'm not the biggest fan of Converse because I don't really love a cloth sneaker.
Okay.
But I love that it's an every woman's sneaker. And that's what I like about it. I love that it's accessible and anyone can relate to a Converse. And so I think that we needed, after the shenanigans that went on the last 4 years, we need someone who it feels accessible and feels like, I'm just like you. I love the fact that she doesn't have children.
I do too. It's a great point. I'm so glad you brought it up. It really is great, right? That she's a first in so many ways and so accessible. Particularly for us. Like it's so weird to suddenly be a woman in our 50s, a Black woman in our 50s, and have her be the vice president. It's like, okay, here we are.
And we know people that went to Howard with Kamala, right? So
I know. It's crazy. And one of my close friends was like, so today my hair is not blown out, but some days it is. And when it's blown out, like, I have her hairstyle.
Right. You have Kamala here.
Yeah.
Now the nice, well-meaning white friends have told you how many times that you look like Kamala.
I know, a lot, believe me. I get Kamala and I get Meghan Markle. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I do not look like Meghan Markle. She's 20 years old.
I see Meghan Markle. Definitely.
I think it's really funny. So who is your style icon? Who do you adore?
My mother.
Oh, that's so great. God, I can't wait to check her out on Instagram.
Yeah, she has great style. She just really does. She has impeccable style. To this day, she dresses herself. And she has great style. I love her, the way she dresses. There are other people that I love. I love Jane Fonda.
Oh, I love Jane Fonda too. And I've only met her once in person, but I have to say she was so no bullshit fabulous, just like you'd expect her to be.
Yeah, exactly. She's incredible. Now this is a weird one for me. I love the way Tilda Swinton dresses because she dresses like, she's got that angular body. She's just like a board from the front.
Okay, I have to say, I never in a million years would have expected you to say that. So that's really interesting.
Yep.
To me, Tilda Swinton is incredibly fabulous and glamorous. And I once saw her talk at the New York Public Library and she was wearing all white and she really looks kind of unreal. She's got this like unearthly quality, but not a look I aspire to, but it's interesting.
It's not a look I aspire to. It's a look that I love.
Yeah, that you think is cool.
Look I absolutely love. And if I came back in another life and I was 6 foot tall and 100 pounds, Tilda Swinton would be my go-to look.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyone else you can think of?
I just think like for the vroomness of it all, I love the way J-Lo dresses.
Oh,
yeah. She's got great style. And again, it's her own style. Like J-Lo, you may not know, but J-Lo loves fedoras and J-Lo loves gauchos. J-Lo actually tried to bring the gaucho back. It did not work, but she tried her damn hardest.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know that. She is incredible. I mean, her body is unbelievable.
Yeah, and then allegedly now that guy's sneaking around on Instagram and silly women's DMs.
Wait, A-Rod is cheating on J-Lo?
I don't know if he's cheating. This is what they're saying, that he's been in people's DMs and he's been liking and putting hearts on reality TV star.
Oh, fuck. They still haven't actually gotten married yet, right? Wasn't that? They were supposed to get married during COVID, and
But
oh,
I want to say, and because we're women of a certain age, and J Lo is as well, and she's beautiful and glamorous, and she's like, kind of like a version of being 50 and just being
yeah,
incredible.
seriously.
But I want to say this, this is a great time for us to be defining ourselves and not being defined by our partners. Um,
I agree. I have to say, I was about to say she'll be fine. Whatever happens, whatever he's doing, she'll be fine because
yeah,
she's
but the bigger part for me is that, I was on the Wendy Williams show and she asked me why I didn't name names of the people that I slept with because I slept with famous people.
hmm
I said, because it's not about them, it's about me. And I spent enough time looking for kind of like validation
yeah.
through men. And I said, at this age, no, 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 I'm not doing that. I don't need a man to define me. I certainly don't need a man to complete me.
Yeah.
And I think that at this age, we're in a great time where we should be really enjoying our lives to the fullest, whether or not we're in a committed relationship or whether or not we're single. My mother
Right.
said 2 years ago, she said, "Oh, you and your friends are so beautiful and glamorous. You girls are so young and you just travel and you do all these things." She's like, "That is so great." And she said, "And if you need a little bit, go buy it." And she was talking about a vibrator. And I just love that my mom was like 90 years old advising us to go buy a vibrator.
Oh,
But
I'm so jealous you have your mom to do that. That is awesome. And
but
it's
that's
so true. I have to say, I'm in a committed relationship now, but I think it's the first kind of non codependent one I've really ever been in where, I feel like we're together, but we also have these completely separate lives.
I'm
And
looking for what you got. I'm looking for that. That's why I always say, and thank you, I'm going to put that on my list.
put
Um,
that on your vision board because,
Codependent. Thank you. You gave
yeah,
me.
it really is. It's what we need at this time in our lives. It's what we deserve. And it's why, like, you can tell me this juicy gossip about J-Lo, and I can feel like, you know what? She's fabulous, and I'm sure at this point she has enough wisdom to manage this and anything else that comes along because we all do. So
Yeah. Yeah,
super.
but I only mentioned her about because I think that a lot of times women look at someone like that and think if only I could look like that, then I could have someone like A Rod or I could,
It doesn't
baby.
matter. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter. It
That's
doesn't matter.
right. I remember when Beyonce was going through all that stuff with what's his name, and I don't know what their relationship is like, but I really felt for her then. Like we were all a little bit younger, and
Yeah.
she's younger than we are anyway. But yeah, I mean, bad shit happens to all of us. My
Well,
fashion icon, I think, would be Tracy Ellis Ross. What do you think of her?
oh, I love the way she dresses. She has
Oh,
great, great, great style. As a matter of fact, when I worked at Vibe, we did a great shoot with her for Vibe Vixen, and I literally worked with the stylist, and I went to my mentor, who I mentioned in the book, Kenny Valenti, who has the largest collection of vintage clothes, one of the largest vintage clothing collectors, and I pulled a lot of stuff for her because
oh,
I knew that you could not. Tracy has got such an impeccable eye. She also has that mother's closet of hers.
yeah.
You know, I knew that we couldn't come with just like a basic kind of like designer gown. And so we went and got her beautiful things like, we got her Azadina Lyre that was vintage. We got a Vivian Westwood that was vintage. We got a
Oh,
Pat
wow.
Kelly that was vintage. We really, and she loved it. And that was made me so happy. She was going through the racks and she was just like, oh, this is good. She's the type of girl now at this point, she doesn't do anything without her stylist. She has her dedicated stylist. I believe it's Kate Welch, but she does at that time she wasn't big enough to just have her committed stylist.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see her going through the rack and being okay, okay.
And loving what you chose.
She's like, what they gonna bring me? You know what I mean?
Very cool. I love her vibe so much. I think she's just awesome. She's
Yeah, she
amazing.
is great. She is great, and she's lovely, and she's one of those celebrities that I have a really great relationship with. And in the book, I talk about doing the work and really kind of making that pivot from being behind the scenes and being a corporate woman to becoming, this entertainment entity
A
and
celebrity yourself.
relationships with celebrities. And
Yeah.
even though, like, about a year ago, I was on a show called Page Six TV, the Traffics and Gossip, and I managed to not gossip on that show, and I managed to maintain my celebrity relationships. It's something I'm very proud of, because what I wanted to do was make sure that I was staying above the fray. That's my mantra: stay
Uh-huh.
above the fray.
Go high. When they go low, go high.
Well, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I'm so glad that we off that with Miss Michelle Obama. I love her so much. But we see with these people, these insurrectionists, there's no, when they go low, we got to kick them in the you know what, and then hit them in the shin with a damn metal pipe like Nancy Kerrigan, and we got to take them down. We can't go high. You know what I mean?
No,
Because
with certain things you can't go high. I agree with you.
yes, they don't understand that. You got to, sometimes you got to meet force with force.
So how has it been publishing a book in COVID? How are you doing? You doing it? You must be doing a ton of online promotion.
And I was just saying yesterday, I realized why I'm always so very tired now. And I do my radio show from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And traditionally, that's not even the last thing I have to do for the day. But what I have found is I'm exhausted by 6 o'clock, and I like to eat my dinner at 6 or 6. Like
That's
something.
good. It's healthy. It's healthy for you.
Yeah, but
It's a,
not really because you got to think about something. You're supposed to eat the last meal, like, what is it, 6 hours before you go to bed or something like that.
yeah, ideally, which is impossible for me.
But in my old life, I was out until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, right.
I could afford to eat at a good old sultry 8 o'clock. It was fine.
Yeah.
Um, Now, of course, but I'm so exhausted, and I like to make my food, and I like to cook. I've been trying to do that more, especially now with the book tour, which is virtual. But
I,
I'm exhausted. I'm
I was
exhausted.
curious about your cooking because I know you used to have this dinner party series where you would have live dinner parties. That sounded so cool. I was thinking, oh, if it were, I want to get invited to one of those. But obviously, you're not doing them now. Do you miss it? And are you a big cook?
I never cooked for my dinner with Bevy. That was a really great business that I still have. That it marries celebrities with brands or fashion entities.
Fun.
And so I love doing it. I do miss it. I stopped doing it as much because my TV work started really picking up. And when you're doing shows and things like that, especially Page Six was a daily show,
That's
it
a
doesn't
lot.
leave you room for much else of anything else, you
Yeah.
know. But I
Yeah.
do miss it. I love to cook. As a matter of fact, I just before we got on, I went in and I made some ground turkey meat with some peppers and onions and
Yeah.
mushrooms, and I'm going to make my very own. You know the hood sandwich chopped cheese.
Yes. Yum.
I'm gonna use a Asiago cheese on top, and I'm going
Fancy.
to a light English muffin because I'm currently on Weight Watchers. So I'm because I gained so much COVID weight. It's like okay, and I have no goal to be skinny. Never was skinny. Never wanted to be skinny. But what we're gonna do is shed this COVID weight. Okay.
Yeah, just get rid of the COVID weight. You just want to be healthy, but no, there's no need to be skinny.
I,
That sounds delicious. And I love English muffins. Even the low fat ones are super
yeah,
good.
they're good. The low fat ones.
Yeah, they're really good. I like Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers works. I mean, like all these diets, if you do it, it works. I lost 8 pounds right before COVID on Weight Watchers and then gained it all back. But
right, right, of course.
whatever. Or whatever. Well, it is so much fun talking to you. I could talk to you forever. Now I want to know about your sex life. Are you dating anyone fun?
Well, you can't date in the COVID.
I know.
So I did try to date in COVID during the summer, and I went on a couple of dates, but no spark.
Okay.
But I'm definitely very open, and I've been talking about it on almost every interview that I've been doing. That I'm very open and ready for an amazing person to come into my life. I love the idea of I would love a lover in New Orleans. It's my favorite place. So me and my therapist were talking about it because I was like, I'm gonna love it in New Orleans so I can live in New Orleans Thursday night through Monday morning.
It's a great idea. I love the architecture in New Orleans. The houses are so beautiful.
Culture, it's the people, it's the music, it's the food, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's even the climate. But
Yeah.
but me and my therapist worked out through talking it through. I said to her, you know what? I actually don't even need to wait until I get the boyfriend to actually live in New Orleans Thursday through Monday.
Good
Why?
revelation. Yeah. This is back to the J-Lo thing. It's back to the women being in their 50s thing. Like you can do whatever you want, right? And you already know that because you've proven it to yourself. Like you made this decision in your 30s, you were going to have a different life and you've built that life.
Yeah.
So I agree. If you want to go to New Orleans, go to New Orleans. And then
Thursday through Monday though, because I got to stay here because I got my mom and I've got all my good work. So Thursday through Monday. So I imagine being there for the hot, steamy weekends. New Orleans feels like a Scorpio to me. It's sexy, it's steamy, it's all the things. I love a good river walk. It's hedonistic. it's all the things that I enjoy as a
What
Scorpio.
sign are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
You are a Scorpio. Okay, cool. I'm a Leo.
Oh, I'm Leo rising, so I get it.
All right. Well, I love talking to you. So will you hold up a copy of your book again, just so everyone can see? It's called Bevelations, Lessons from a Mother, Auntie, and Bestie by Bevy Smith, who is awesome. And obviously everyone can just find it online and check out Bevy's show.
As a
Go
matter of
ahead.
fact, I narrated the audiobook myself, so that's a very important thing to note. So if you like the way I speak, and if you think that you want to be in on all my jokes, because the book is filled with like Bevyisms that are like funny,
It
and
is really funny.
them, and you'll get it, but you get it even more when you listen to the audiobook version.
It's a
Um,
really good idea. Listening to a lot of our members also, we have 2 different book clubs in the Woolfer, a regular one and an erotic book club, but a lot of our members listen to books. So it's a very good point, good tip. All right, well, you have a great day and weekend. Is today Friday? Oh no, it's Thursday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you, I hope, in real life one day.
well, soon and very soon. I hope this will be over. I think fall of 2021. I'm hoping that we can go outside. I just had the great artist John Batiste, who's the band leader for Stephen Colbert on my show, and I said that we're going to do a NOLA party when this is all over. We're going to serve red beans and rice for free, and it's going to be jazz musicians from New Orleans and funk musicians from New Orleans, and we're going to party down. So I'll make sure I invite you.
That sounds like heaven. And actually, that's so funny. I was just on a call before this. I'm on the board of the Brooklyn Public Library, and we were actually just talking about John. He did a thing for us during the protests. He performed on the plaza at Central, and we're going to try and get him to come to our online, our virtual gala in April. So anyway, a lot of paths crossing with you and me. We'll definitely meet in person. And I send you a big kiss and thank you.
Thank you, my love. I so enjoyed this.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.